Hey everyone, I wanted to talk about the programs that banks are coming out with, mortgage companies are coming out with, and I find it somewhat interesting because when the rates were, 2 and 3%, they didn't email me, they didn't send me anything, they really weren't looking at us realtors as hard. So now that things have changed, I literally got 3 emails in the last 2 days from different lenders saying, hey, here's our new program, send people our way, basically. And I thought, well, there's so much misinformation, so much scare tactics out there, excuse me, that I thought, let me do a video that addresses the financing part. And I'm not a mortgage person, I'm not a mortgage originator. I don't deal with any of that. I'm an agent that helps people find homes, right? Get in them and move on to their next chapter. So that's my whole goal, is to help someone get to that next chapter. Whatever that looks like. If it's downsizing, if it's upsizing, right sizing, some people call it. If it's getting the heck out of Dodge, selling what they got, traveling. I have one guy that's what he's doing. He sold his dream home. It's like, heck, we're gonna travel for a while. So that's what they're doing, taking that money and bought a SE RV, and they're traveling the country. People, I think COVID made people really stop, sit back and think, what is, the meaning of life per se, and reevaluate. So I say all that to just let you know that my basis, my goal in my role is to get you where you want to be, whatever that may look like. Last week, I lost a listing because she reevaluated her life. And I, as a buy and hold investor, I supported her in that and actually applauded her in that. She had a home that she was no longer living in. She had moved in with her mom. Her mom was getting older and she wanted to sell it. And it would have been a good sale after a mortgage. She would have walked away with probably over $100,000 cash. And and she reevaluated and said, I'm going to rent it out. And she wants to build, sustainable long-term, income for her family. And I applauded her. Like I said, I'm a buy and hold investor myself. So, I mean, I wasn't upset. I wasn't even disappointed. Listings are tough to get right now. So to get one and then lose it, probably would have put the average person, in a funk. But, she was tentative to tell me. She was really worried and she texted it to me, and she's really normally a pretty straightforward person. So I called her right up and I said, I am not mad. I'm actually happy for you that you've made this decision, because it's the decision I would have made. But of course, that wasn't my decision to make for her. I did not guide her into that. That was a choice that she made after talking with her family. So I say all that to talk about mortgages. And I think one thing with first time home buyers, they don't really know where to go. There's not financial literacy courses out there. No one's really helping you. And I remember my first home that we bought it was a mess. We had to be honest, an unscrupulous lender who was working with the renovation people. We did a 203K loan, and by the end of it, most of the money was gone and only half the work was gone. But yet we had a guy coming out every few weeks to check the work and make sure, and then he would give the draw. And here we were, 50% done, 80% of the money's gone. So I don't, I'm, I don't care what people say. You have to watch out for yourself, right? So I'm saying that I want to go through some of these programs really fast. I'm not trying to get into the weeds too much, but I want people to sit back and think that about the different programs that are out there now, because banks, they're in the business of lending money, right? Mortgage companies. And when people slow down, their income slows down. So these loan originators, they get paid to originate a loan. They don't get paid, if you don't buy, purchase a loan. Um, so there's a bunch of them that have been reaching out to me, and I just kind of aggregated all of the information and scanned it in. And I'm going to share my screen with you here in a second. So bear with me while I do that. And share screen. All right. share. Okay. All right. So here we are. This is a local credit union in Louisville. And hey, before I get into the weeds of it all, my name is Margaret Weathers with Coldwell Banker McMahon, and I'm here to help you navigate the craziness of buying and selling homes. In the end, that's the goal, right? Because you can go online and find a house. It's not a big difficult process anymore. But navigating the pitfalls, and I could tell you, as you may remember from other videos, I own also a moving company. So one thing I pointed out in a video, my last video, was that houses are selling faster than people are thinking. So I've had two people in a week that had been scheduled like somewhere in mid-November and in November call me up and say, oh my gosh, we sold in a day. And this is literally 2 weeks ago. So mid-October, say, oh my goodness, I sold in a day. I need to move my move date up, so, and then they have to get packed and, all that craziness and chaos that ensues. So that's the first point I want to make to you. The second point is that another agent, we were supposed to close a house yesterday, and it was an investment property, cash deal. So it should be simple, right? So we show up to do the walkthrough, and the seller is there, clear out the house, super nice people. And he said, I didn't know we were closing today. His agent never told him they were closing. And furthermore, the agent told me when I texted her and said, hey, we're closing tomorrow now at 1:30. She said, oh, I thought we were closing today. So we were, but the sellers didn't know that we were closing. And this woman is 90 some years old. She's scooting around. I thought, there's no way I can force this little lady to get out of her bathrobe and get to the closing that's across town in 30 minutes. Just couldn't do it. So I called the title company, said, listen, can we do this tomorrow? Is that going to be a big problem? It's not, because like I said, it's a cash deal. It's not a big deal. And we pushed it to the next day. But she responded with, oh, I thought the title company did that. So who you use as an agent really matters. They need to understand the market, but they also need to understand the process. And it's funny that something that simple didn't get conveyed, but it is what it is. I have another horror story, and these are all recent. This is last week, Wednesday. The buyer's agent did not modify the contract, long story short, and there's a bar and $1,000 in question. And my moving company, we moved the bar because the seller told us to. And next thing you know, the buyer's agent's calling me, and then he falls on the sword and says, well, yeah, I forgot to write it into the contract. I thought, holy crap. And then he started asking me questions about, being a real estate agent. And I thought, you need to call your broker, dude, because first of all, you're too green for me to even want to deal with. But second of all, you've already made a huge mistake that's probably going to cost you $400. And it's pissed off everybody in this transaction. I mean, the sellers are pissed, the buyers are pissed. Somehow we're in the middle because we're the movers, and he's wanting me to bring the bar back. I'm like, I can't go in this man's house, and because we moved the bar the day before. So I cannot go in this man's house and take this bar out of his house. This kind of crazy, right? So I want to reiterate how important it is to have somebody that knows what the hell they're doing, is ethical, is not afraid to call their broker. I mean, this guy didn't even think to call his broker, afterwards. He's like, yeah, I guess I should call my broker. And then as I found out yesterday, he hadn't even completed a number of his PLE, which is post licensing education requirements, and his license was suspended. So he couldn't even sit in the closing. So anyway, there's a lot of chaos going on anyway. And I think you really need to consider who you're going to work with. You want something that's ethical, that's knowledgeable, that has resources. And, they don't need to know everything. They need to find out everything. That's what I've always believed. So let me get into, hey, go ahead and like my video, subscribe, comment. I appreciate it. My name again is Margaret Weathers. And my number is 664-9971. Again, 502-664-9971. And you can email me at margaret@margaretsmoving.com. There's an S between Margaret and moving, margaretsmoving.com. All right, so let me move into this. All right, so I get too far down the rabbit hole. So find a mortgage that fits. This is Park Community Federal Credit Union. They're a local place. And so ARMs are back. If you don't know what an ARM is, this is adjustable rate mortgage. And they're back. You hadn't heard about them in a while. So here is, and I'm not going to get into all the weeds of this graphic, but here are the different programs right now. Like last week, I was in this this lunch and learn, and this was what they gave us. So here's all the details about them. And so this one is you can see here, private mortgage insurance, they're not even making you have it on all of these products over here. Who's paying the closing costs? So the bank is paying the closing costs on these three, which is amazing. Then they have the income limits. Is it here? Okay, credit scores. You can see that these are, 620, 585, 585. These are reasonable, reasonably low as far as, getting a mortgage. So I'm going to move to the next one. This was just a large graphic. And let me get this. All right, so here is a product from Stockyards Bank. The Right at Home program is pretty robust. The income requirements are in here. It's let's see, where was it? Well, let me just go through it. No down payment required. Okay. Minimum loan in refinances is 85% loan to value. Owner occupied. They are allowing manufactured, as long as it's Fannie Mae, fixed interest rate, which means it doesn't change for the new home buyers. Let's see, maximum loan amount is $250,000, which, if you know my last video, I did talk about the affordability of Louisville. So if you look at that video, and I show you the numbers of how many homes in Louisville market are 250 and under. There's quite a few. Maximum purchase price is 275. So like if you were putting some money down or getting some of these grants that I can talk about. And then you don't have to get the mortgage insurance, which is amazing. And then the bar requirements, first time education course, which I don't think is that hard to do. And it's probably a good idea. You got to at least have $500. I mean, if you can't come up with $500, you probably shouldn't be buying a house. They don't want any collections in the last 12 months, and your credit score is 620. So this is a nice program, and the rate is 4.99. Lending a hand. This is a mortgage first-time home buyers. This is 30-year fixed. This is from Park as well. No closing costs. This was on that graphic that I just showed you. And then we have an ARM, which is a 3.355. So after 3 years, it can change, and then it'll hold for 3 years. So these are some ARMs that they have right now. And then these are loans that this is for a certain part of town. So this is called the West End, or the West Louisville. These are ARMs, and then they're doing up to 120%, which is the old like 203K loan, which is helping you to rehab the property. No PMI, which is amazing. It's local underwriting, so it's a local program, and then there's no closing costs. And then now there was a number of in this one of these lunch and learns I was telling you about, a down payment assistance. So Louisville Metro is giving a down payment assistance, and I know this graphic is hard to probably read the way it's scanned in, but they have to I believe do a little class. And then they're going to give you, I think it's up to up to $10,000. Let's see, $5,000 on this one, and it's forgivable. Just some requirements that are with HUD. No unpaid collections, charge-offs in the last up to, and then medical collection. Medical is up to $10,000. So medical, some people have medical collections on there because insurance issues. And then you have to have $1,500 in savings. So, I mean, gives you some help, and it's considered a zero interest loan that's forgivable, I believe. So there's another program right now. So for her first time home buyers who are probably scared to death right now, thinking they're going to have to live in their parents' basement forever. That's why I'm doing this video, is to show you that there are programs out here, because these loan originators, they want to sell you a loan. So here, I guess here's that West Louisville one again. I probably did that twice, but your credit scores don't have to be in the 800s or even the 700s. You can get some stuff. And what I want to keep telling people is that you do not have to have a 700 credit score. You do not have to have a, let me close all this stuff here. You don't have to have a lot of money down. I mean, you used to think 20%. Some of these are zero down, zero closing costs. Your credit score can be in the 600s, even some of those are in the 500s. You are not having to bid over asking anymore. That is another thing. You know, just 3 months ago, it was $50,000 over asking. People were having to put, and that's coming out of your pocket. You have to realize the bank is not going to finance that. So if you are getting a $300,000 house, that's what its list price is, and that's what it's going to appraise at most likely, right? And you offer 350, you are paying that 50,000. You are having to come out of pocket. So number one, you're underwater already. Number two, you've just, taken all this money out of your savings. And three, if you go to sell in the next few years, you are not going to make anything. You might even lose. So you might have to bring money to go close. It's just so crazy. So you are not having all these multiple offers, but yet, as I said yesterday, you still have days on market only went from 21, I think it was, to 31. Or 22 to 31 days. So you're still within a month, the people that are looking to sell and worried about who's buying, you're still within a month of selling. We still only have 2 months of inventory in the Louisville market, which is not much. To be an even market, to be a where everything's balanced, we have to have 6 months of inventory, and we still do not have that. So please don't think that you have to freeze. Don't believe all the hype, the media shows you, tells you, wants you to believe. And go ahead and, if buying a house or selling a house is what you want to do, figure it out, talk to a professional, hopefully that would be me. And I look forward to hearing from you. Give me a call, 502-664-9971. Again, 502-664-9971. And go ahead and like my video, share it, subscribe, comment, even if you don't like me. All right, you guys have a good day. Take care of each other. Thanks. Bye.